We will now discuss system calls and device drivers. We can access and control files and devices using a small number of functions. These functions are known as system calls, which are provided by Unix operating system directly, and it will act as an interface to the operating system itself. The heart of the operating system is kernel, which contains a number of device drivers, which is a collection of low-level interface. These device drivers are the low-level interfaces for controlling the system hardware. For example, there will be a device driver for a tape drive, which will know how to start the tape, how to wind the tape forward and backward, how to read the tape, and how to write the data into it, and so on. It will also know that the tapes have to be written in blocks of certain size because tapes are sequential in nature. The driver can't access tape blocks directly but must wind the tape to the right place. Similarly, the low-level hard disk device driver will only write the whole number of disk sectors at a time, but will be able to access any desired disk block directly because the disk is a random access device. To provide a similar interface, the device driver encapsulates all of the hardware-dependent features and some of the idiosyncratic features of the hardware. Nothing but the special features of the hardware are usually available through the IOCTL system call. The device files in /dev are also used in the same way, which can be opened for read, write, and closed. For example, the same open system call is used to access a regular file is used to access the user terminal or a printer or a tape drive. Now we'll see the low-level functions which are used to access the device drivers, the system calls, which may include the following. One is open, use it to open a file or a device. Read, use it to read from a open file or read from a device. Write, use it to write the data to a file or to the device. Close, use it to close the file which was open or close the device which was open. And IOCTL, use it to pass the control information to a device driver. The IOCTL system call is used to provide some necessary hardware specific control, which was opposite to that of regular input output. So its use may vary from device to device. For example, a call to IOCTL can be used to rewind a tape drive or set the flow control characteristics of the serial port. For this reason, IOCTL is not necessarily portable from one machine to another machine. In addition, each driver defines its own set of IOCTL commands. Now I'll discuss about library functions. One problem with using low-level system calls directly for input and output is that they can be inefficient because there is a performance penalty in making a system call. System calls are therefore expensive compared to the function calls because Linux has to switch from running your program code to executing its own kernel code and back again. So it's a good idea to keep the number of system calls used in a program to a minimum number and get each call to do as much work as possible. For example, by reading and writing large amounts of data rather than a single character at a time. That means instead of data reading only one character at a time, I can read a large amount of data so that we can make the system calls to utilize effectively and we can avoid the performance penalty of using these system calls. Hardware has some limitations, so that can impose restrictions on the size of the data blocks that can be read or written by the low-level system call at any one time. For example, tape drives often have a block size, let us say 10K, to which they can write. So if you attempt to write an amount of data that is not an exact multiple of 10K, the drive will still advance to write the tape to the next 10K block, leaving the gaps on the tape. To provide a higher level interface to device and disk files, a Linux distribution or a Unix distribution provides some number of standard libraries, so which are the collection of functions that we can include in our own programs to handle the problems. A good example is the standard IO library that provides some buffered output so that we can effectively write the data blocks of varying sizes, and the library functions arrange for the low-level system calls to be provided with full blocks as the data is made available, and this dramatically reduces the system call overhead. Now I will show you a figure which illustrates the Linux system, showing the user program, system calls and hardware, and how they are connected with each other. And also it shows where the various file functions exist relative to the user, relative to the device driver and kernel and the hardware. Now see the low level file access. Each running program is called as a process which has a number of file descriptors associated with it. These are small integers that we can use to access open files or devices. However, how many of these are available will vary depending on how the system has been configured. When a program starts, it usually has three of these descriptors already open. These are 0, standard input, 1, standard output, and 2, called standard error. So 0 represents standard input, 1 represents standard output, 2 represents standard error. We can associate other file descriptors with the files and devices by using the open system call.